As day 3 for the Come Follow Me study for this week, July 13th through the 19th. He trusted in the Lord God of Israel. 2 Kings 16 through 25. Wednesday, July 15th, 2026, 2 Kings 18 through 19. Most of us have experiences that challenge our faith. For Hezekiah and his people, one of those challenges came when the Assyrian army approached Jerusalem. As you read 2 Kings 18 through 19, imagine that you lived in Jerusalem during this time. 2 Kings 18. Hezekiah reigns in righteousness in Judah. 2 Kings 18, 1 through 3. Now it came to pass in the 3rd year of Hoshea, son of Elah, king of Israel, that Hezekiah the son of Ahaz, king of Judah, began to reign. 25 years old was he when he began to reign, and he reigned 29 years in Jerusalem. His mother's name also was Abi, the daughter of Zechariah. And he did that which was right in the sight of the Lord, according to all that David his father did. Hezekiah destroys idolatry and breaks the brazen serpent made by Moses because the children of Israel burnt incense to it. 2 Kings 18:4. He removed the high places and brake the images and cut down the groves and brake in pieces the brazen serpent that Moses had made. For unto those days the children of Israel did burn incense to it, and he called it Nehushtan. During their 40-year journey in the desert, the ancient Israelites often murmured against God and his prophet Moses. The Lord sent among the people fiery serpents that threatened great destruction as a punishment. As a means of physical salvation and as a type of the spiritual salvation to be wrought by Jesus Christ, Moses made a serpent of brass, placed it on a pole, and taught his people that if they would gaze upon the serpent when they were bitten, physical healing would follow. The brazen serpent was preserved in Israel, and in time became an object of adoration, and was worshipped by the Israelites, much as they worshipped idols. In his zeal to eradicate all forms of idolatry in Judah, King Hezekiah had the brazen serpent destroyed along with the idols. The word Nehushtan comes from the Hebrew and means an object made of brass. The implication may be that Hezekiah was speaking contemptuously of the object being worshipped, saying it was merely a thing of brass and nothing more. 2 Kings 18, 5 through 12. He trusted in the Lord God of Israel, so that after him was none like him among all the kings of Judah, nor any that were before him. For he clave to the Lord, and departed not from following him, but kept his commandments which the Lord commanded Moses. And the Lord was with him, and he prospered whithersoever he went forth. And he rebelled against the king of Assyria, and served him not. He smote the Philistines, even unto Gaza, and the borders thereof, from the tower of the watchman to the fenced city. And it came to pass in the 4th year of King Hezekiah, which was the 7th year of Hoshea, son of Elah, king of Israel, that Shalmaneser, king of Assyria, came up against Samaria and besieged it. And at the end of 3 years they took it, even in the 6th year of Hezekiah, that is the 9th year of Hoshea, king of Israel. Samaria was taken. And the king of Assyria did carry away Israel unto Assyria, and put them in Halal and in Habor by the river of Gozan, and in the cities of the Medes, because they obeyed not the voice of the Lord their God, but transgressed his covenant, and all that Moses the servant of the Lord commanded, and would not hear them nor do them. The account in 2 Kings 18, 13 through 19:37 is very similar to the account in Isaiah 36-37. Sennacherib was the son of Sargon II and had numerous conquests to his credit. Clay tablets recording his various campaigns have been preserved and deciphered. The portion of one tablet that relates to the partial conquest of Judah reads as follows. As for Hezekiah the Jew, who did not submit to my yoke, 46 of his strong, walled cities, as well as the small cities in their neighborhood, which were without number, by constructing a rampart out of trampled earth, and by bringing up battering rams, by the attack of infantry, by tunnels, breaches, and the use of axes, I besieged and took those cities, 200,000, 150 people, great and small, male and female, horses, mules, asses, camels, cattle, and sheep without number. I brought away from them, and counted as spoil, Himself, like a caged bird, I shut in Jerusalem, his royal city. Earthworks I threw up against him. The one coming out of the city gate I turned back to his misery. Sennacherib's account squares very well with the accounts given in 2 Kings 18:13 through 19:37 and Isaiah 36 through 37. Sennacherib, king of Assyria, invades Judah. 2 Kings 18:13. Now in the 14th year of King Hezekiah did Sennacherib, king of Assyria, come up against all the fenced cities of Judah and took them. As part of the treaty King Ahaz established with the king of Assyria, the kingdom of Judah was subservient to Assyria and required to pay a large annual tribute. This arrangement continued through the reign of Hezekiah until around 705 BC, when Hezekiah rebelled against Assyria following the death of their king. A few years after Judah's revolt, the new Assyrian king, Sennacherib, mobilized a huge army to invade the kingdom of Judah. The Assyrians conquered many cities of Judah on their way to attacking Jerusalem, the capital of the kingdom of Judah. 2 Kings 18:14 through 16. And Hezekiah, king of Judah, sent to the king of Assyria, to Lachish, saying, I have offended, return from me. That which thou puttest on me will I bear. And the king of Assyria appointed unto Hezekiah, king of Judah, 300 talents of silver and 30 talents of gold. And Hezekiah gave him all the silver that was found in the house of the Lord, and in the treasures of the king's house. At that time did Hezekiah cut off the gold from the doors of the temple of the Lord, and from the pillars which Hezekiah, king of Judah, had overlaid, and gave it to the king of Assyria. In a blasphemous speech, Rabshakeh asks Jerusalem to surrender to the Assyrians. 2 Kings 18:17. And the king of Assyria sent Tartan and Rabsaris and Rabshakeh from Lachish to King Hezekiah with a great host against Jerusalem. The King James Version of the Bible treats these as personal names, but scholars now think that they were the titles of Assyrian officials appointed by Sennacherib to conclude terms for the surrender of Jerusalem. 2 Kings 18:17 continued, And they went up and came to Jerusalem, and when they were come up, they came and stood by the conduit, or the ditch or aqueduct, of the upper pool, which is in the highway of the fuller's field. A fuller was one who cleansed, pressed, bleached, and dyed cloth for a living. Since this work required a great deal of water, the fuller's field, or place of work, was always near a pool or spring of water. The spring of Gihon was a natural water source in the Kidron Valley. In early times, before Israelite occupation, the inhabitants of Jerusalem sent their women to the spring for water. Standing on an elevated platform, the women let their leather buckets down a 40-foot shaft or conduit that led to the spring below and hauled up their water. Some think this was the conduit for the upper pool. Located nearby was the fuller's field. Remains of a large man-made pool west of the city have been found, however, and some scholars think that may have been the location. 2 Kings 18:18 through 26. And when they had called to the king, there came out to them Eliakim the son of Hilkiah, which was over the household, and Shebna the scribe, and Joah the son of Asaph the recorder. And Rabshakeh said unto them, Speak ye now to Hezekiah. Thus saith the great king, the king of Assyria, What confidence is this wherein thou trustest? Thou sayest, But they are but vain words. I have counsel and strength for the war. Now on whom dost thou trust, that thou rebellest against me? Now behold, thou trustest upon the staff of this bruised reed, even upon Egypt, on which, if a man lean, it will go into his hand and pierce it. So is Pharaoh king of Egypt unto all that trust on him. But if ye say unto me, We trust in the Lord our God, is not that he whose high places and whose altars Hezekiah hath taken away, and hath said to Judah and Jerusalem, Ye shall worship before this altar in Jerusalem? Now therefore I pray thee, give pledges to my lord the king of Assyria, and I will deliver thee 2,000 horses, if thou be able on thy part to set riders upon them. How then wilt thou turn away the face of one captain of the least of my master's servants, and put thy trust on Egypt for chariots and for horsemen? Am I now come up without the Lord against this place to destroy it? The Lord said unto me, Go up against this land and destroy it. Then said Eliakim, the son of Hilkiah, and Shebna, and Joah, unto Rabshakeh, Speak, I pray thee, to thy servants in the Syrian language, for we understand it, and talk not with us in the Jews' language in the ears of the people that are on the wall. The Jews were under siege, with a large population shut up in Jerusalem. The Jewish leaders did not want their people to hear the Assyrian conditions for fear that the people would panic and give in to their demands. Rabshakeh ignored their request and only cried louder. 2 Kings 18:27-34. But Rabshakeh said unto them, Hath my master sent me to thy master and to thee to speak these words? Hath he not sent me to the men which sit on the wall, that they may eat their own dung and drink their own piss with you? Then Rabshakeh stood and cried with a loud voice in the Jews' language, and spake, saying, Hear the word of the great king, the king of Assyria. Thus saith the king, Let not Hezekiah deceive you, for he shall not be able to deliver you out of his hand. Neither shall Hezekiah make you trust in the Lord, saying, The Lord will surely deliver us, and this city shall not be delivered into the hand of the king of Assyria. Hearken not to Hezekiah, for thus saith the king of Assyria, Make an arrangement with me by a present, and come out to me, and then eat ye every man of his own vine, and every one of his fig tree, and drink ye every one the waters of his cistern, until I come and take you away to a land like your own land, a land of corn and wine, a land of bread and vineyards, a land of olive oil and of honey, that ye may live and not die, and hearken not unto Hezekiah, when he persuadeth you, saying, The Lord will deliver us. Hath any of the gods of the nations delivered at all his land out of the hand of the king of Assyria? Where are the gods of Hamath and of Arpad? Where are the gods of Zavariam, Hena, and Iva? Have they delivered Samaria out of mine hand? These are the names of various cities conquered by Sennacherib during his numerous military campaigns. Many cities in ancient times had their own idols upon whom they relied in times of stress. Rabshakeh contemptuously dismissed the main consolation of the Jews, the idea that their God Jehovah would save them, by noting how unsuccessful other gods had been in defending their cities. 2 Kings 18:35-37. Who are they among all the gods of the countries that have delivered their country out of mine hand, that the Lord should deliver Jerusalem out of mine hand? But the people held their peace, and answered him not a word, for the king's commandment was, saying, Answer him not. Then came Eliakim, the son of Hilkiah, which was over the household, and Shebna the scribe, and Joah the son of Asaph the recorder, and to Hezekiah with their clothes rent, and told him the words of Rabshakeh. How might you have felt hearing the Assyrians' taunts in 2 Kings 18:28-37? What would you have done? Compare the Assyrians' reasons for the Israelites not to trust the Lord with the reasons Satan gives for us to doubt our faith today. You can also contrast the Assyrians' reasons with your reasons why you do trust the Lord. 2 Kings 19. Hezekiah seeks counsel from Isaiah to save Jerusalem. 2 Kings 19:1-3. And it came to pass, when King Hezekiah heard it, that he rent his clothes, and covered himself with sackcloth, and went into the house of the Lord. And he sent Eliakim, which was over the household, and Shebna the scribe, and the elders of the priests, covered with sackcloth, to Isaiah the prophet, the son of Amos. And they said unto him, Thus saith Hezekiah, This day is a day of trouble, and of rebuke and blasphemy. For the children are come to the birth, and there is not strength to bring forth. What does the expression, for the children are come to the birth, and there is not strength to bring forth, mean? A figure denoting extreme danger, the most desperate circumstances. If the woman in travail has not strength to bring forth the child which has come to the mouth of the womb, both the life of the child and that of the mother are exposed to the greatest danger, and this was the condition of the people here. 2 Kings 19:4-5. It may be the Lord God will hear all the words of Rabshakeh, whom the king of Assyria his master hath sent to reproach the living God, and will reprove the words which the Lord thy God hath heard. Wherefore lift up thy prayer for the remnant that are left. So the servants of King Hezekiah came to Isaiah. Isaiah prophesies the defeat of the Assyrians and the death of Sennacherib. 2 Kings 19:6-7. And Isaiah said unto them, Thus shall ye say to your master, Thus saith the Lord, Be not afraid of the words which thou hast heard, with which the servants of the king of Assyria have blasphemed me. Behold, I will send a blast upon them, and he shall hear a rumor, and shall return to his own land, and I will cause him to fall by the sword in his own land. What do you learn from Hezekiah's actions in this situation? Sennacherib sends a blasphemous letter. 2 Kings 19:8. So Rabshakeh returned and found the king of Assyria warring against Libnah, for he had heard that he was departed from Lachish. And when he heard say of Tirhakah, king of Ethiopia, Behold, he is come out to fight against thee, he sent messengers again unto Hezekiah, saying, Thus shall ye speak to Hezekiah king of Judah, saying, Let not thy God, in whom thou trustest, deceive thee, saying, Jerusalem shall not be delivered into the hand of the king of Assyria. Behold, thou hast heard what the kings of Assyria have done to all lands, by destroying them utterly, and shall thou be delivered? Have the gods of the nations delivered them, which my fathers have destroyed, as Gozan, and Haran, and Rezpah, and the children of Eden, which were in Thalazar? Where is the king of Hamath, and the king of Arpad, and the king of the city of Zarephaim, of Hena and Iva? How might you have felt, for example, hearing the Assyrians' taunts in 2 Kings 19:10-13? What would you have done? Compare the Assyrians' reasons for the Israelites not to trust the Lord with the reasons Satan gives for us to doubt our faith today. You can also contrast the Assyrians' reasons with your reasons why you do trust the Lord. Hezekiah prays for deliverance. 2 Kings 19:14. And Hezekiah received the letter of the hand of the messengers and read it. And Hezekiah went up into the house of the Lord and spread it before the Lord. Lachish was a fortified city in the land of Judah that guarded the main highway to Jerusalem from the south. By destroying Lachish, the Assyrians could deprive Judah of any support from Egypt, as well as depriving them of one of their strongest fortifications. 2 Kings 19:15. And Hezekiah prayed before the Lord and said, O Lord, God of Israel, which dwellest between the cherubims, Thou art the God, even thou alone, of all the kingdoms of the earth. Thou hast made heaven and earth. Does God dwell between the cherubims? This imagery is taken from the Ark of the Covenant, Exodus 25. And there I will meet with thee, and I will commune with thee from above the mercy seat, from between the two cherubims which are upon the ark of the testimony, of all things which I will give thee in commandment unto the children of Israel. 2 Kings 19:16-19. Lord, bow down thine ear and hear. Open, Lord, thine eyes and see, and hear the words of Sennacherib, which hath sent him to reproach the living God. Of a truth, Lord, the kings of Assyria have destroyed nations and their lands, and have cast their gods into the fire. For they were no gods, but the works of men's hands, wood and stone. Therefore they have destroyed them. Now therefore, O Lord our God, I beseech thee, save thou us out of his hand, that all the kingdoms of the earth may know that thou art the Lord God, even thou only. What do you learn from Hezekiah's actions in this situation? Why do you think Hezekiah remained faithful? 2 Kings 18. He trusted in the Lord God of Israel, so that after him was none like him among all the kings of Judah, nor any that were before him. For he clave to the Lord, and departed not from following him, but kept his commandments which the Lord commanded Moses. And the Lord was with him, and he prospered whithersoever he went forth. and he rebelled against the king of Assyria and served him not. Ponder how the Lord has sustained you in challenging times. What do you feel inspired to do to increase your trust in him? President Jeffrey R. Holland's message, "Fear not, believe only," has helpful counsel for times of fear or doubt. A hymn like "Let Us Press On" could also have encouraging messages. What do you find in these resources that helps you? How can we show that we trust the Lord? Isaiah prophesies that the Assyrians will be destroyed and that a remnant of Judah will flourish. Sennacherib, the king of Assyria, had good reason to believe that his army would conquer Jerusalem, but the Lord had a message regarding Sennacherib given through the prophet Isaiah. It's recorded in 2 Kings 19:20-34. 2 Kings 19:20. Then Isaiah the son of Amos sent to Hezekiah, saying, "Thus saith the Lord God of Israel, that which thou hast prayed to me against Sennacherib, king of Assyria, I have heard." King Hezekiah's reign coincided with the ministry of the prophet Isaiah. After hearing the Assyrians' threats against his kingdom and people, Hezekiah went to the temple and prayed mightily to God. He also sent messengers to seek Isaiah's counsel and to ask him to pray for the people. Isaiah reassured Hezekiah's messengers that the Lord would protect Jerusalem against the mighty Assyrian army, echoing his prophecy recorded in Isaiah 10. Isaiah later sent word to Hezekiah that the Lord had heard the king's prayers, and further reassured him that the Lord would defend Jerusalem against the Assyrian army. Isaiah's promise was fulfilled when a plague struck the Assyrian camp, and Judah was spared. 2 Kings 19:21-28. This is the word that the Lord has spoken concerning him. The virgin, the daughter of Zion, hath despised thee, and laughed thee to scorn. The daughter of Jerusalem hath shaken her head at thee. Whom hast thou reproached and blasphemed? And against whom hast thou exalted thy voice, and lifted up thine eyes on high, even against the Holy One of Israel? By thy messengers thou hast reproached the Lord, and hast said, With the multitude of my chariots I am come up to the height of the mountains, to the sides of Lebanon, and will cut down the tall cedar trees thereof, and the choice fir trees thereof. And I will enter into the lodgings of his borders, and into the forest of his Carmel. I have digged and dug strange waters, and with the sole of my feet have I dried up all the rivers of besieged places. Hast thou not heard long ago how I have done it, and of ancient times that I have formed it? Now have I brought it to pass that thou shouldest be to lay waste fenced cities into ruinous heaps. Therefore their inhabitants were of small power. They were dismayed and confounded. They were of the grass of the field, and as the green herb, as the grass on the housetops, and as corn blasted before it be grown up. But I know thy abode, and thy goeth out, and thy coming in, and thy rage against me, because thy rage against me and thy tumult is come up into mine ears. Therefore I will put my hook in thy nose, and my bridle in thy lips, and I will turn thee back by the way by which thou camest. The Lord addressed Assyria through Isaiah. Though Assyria had taken credit for all she had done, the Lord set the record straight. Assyria was but a tool in his hands. Since she was only a tool, he still controlled her, and she was at his mercy. 2 Kings 19:29-31. And this shall be a sign unto thee. Ye shall eat this year such things as grow of, and in the second year that which springeth of the same, and in the third year sow ye, and reap, and plant vineyards, and eat the fruits thereof. And the remnant that is escaped of the house of Judah shall yet again take root downward, and bear fruit upward. For out of Jerusalem shall go forth a remnant, and they that escape out of Mount Zion. The zeal of the Lord of hosts shall do this. In these verses and the parallel account in Isaiah 37 is found one of the most remarkable stories in scriptural history. The Assyrian army, with all its might and power, encircled Jerusalem. The northern kingdom had already fallen. All of Judah, except Jerusalem itself, was in Assyrian hands. There was no cause to hope that they could successfully resist. No cause but one. Hezekiah had been a righteous king, and now he trusted in God again. In deep and pleading prayer, he asked him for the solution. The Lord answered through his servant Isaiah, although the answer must have tested the faith of Hezekiah. While Assyrian campfires could be seen on all sides, Isaiah promised that not even an arrow would be shot against Jerusalem, for the Lord himself would defend the city. 2 Kings 19:32-34. Therefore thus saith the Lord concerning the king of Assyria, He shall not come into the city, nor shoot an arrow there, nor come before it with shield, or cast a bank against it. By the way that he came, by the same shall he return, and shall not come into this city, saith the Lord. For I will defend this city to save it, for mine own sake, and for my servant David's sake. An angel slays 185,000 Assyrians. 2 Kings 19:35. And it came to pass that night that the angel of the Lord went out and smote in the camp of the Assyrians 184,500. And when they who were left arose early in the morning, behold, they were all dead corpses. The Joseph Smith translation corrects this verse to read that they who were left arose, to find that those smitten had died. 2 Kings 19:36. So Sennacherib, king of Assyria, departed and went and returned and dwelt at Nineveh. That very night Isaiah's promise was fulfilled. Some mysterious plague struck the Assyrian camp, and in the morning 185,000 Assyrians lay dead. Assyria's remnant left the scene like a dog with its tail tucked between its legs. Judah could say, as did Elisha, They that be with us are more than they that be with them. 2 Kings 19:37. And it came to pass, as he was worshipping in the house of Ishrosh, his god, that Adramelech and Sharezer, his son, smote him with the sword, and they escaped into the land of Armenia, and Esarhaddon, his son, reigned in his stead. How did the Lord respond? What truths do you find in the Lord's message that help you have faith in Him and His plan?